Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson here with Hugh Welchman, co-screenwriter and co-director of The Peasants, Poland's entry for Best International Feature at the '96 Academy Awards. Hugh, what was that like to receive the news that you and your wife, you've been selected as the entry from Poland? What do you want to represent and how exciting is that?
So it's great. First of all, apologies that DK is not here with me. Unfortunately, she had 2 operations in the last 9 days and she wanted to be here, but she's still a bit weak. So I'm representing both of us today. She'll forgive me if I talk for her. We were really thrilled. I mean, it's I think especially because ours is oil painting animation, because it's animation, and also because we had some very prestigious competitions. So we thought it was a great honor to be selected, and also because of the fact that this book it's a national heritage book in Poland. So everyone has to read this book at high school. It won the Nobel Prize next year. It will be exactly 100 years since it won the Nobel Prize for Literature. So it seemed like a nice anniversary for us to be going forward for the Oscar contention for Best International Feature. And it's actually already gone out in cinemas in Poland, and we're on 1.3 million admissions in Poland, and it's the first Polish film since COVID to get over 1 million admissions. So it's exciting times for us.
Well, it's animated, and the storytelling is almost like a fairy tale, like a fairy tale for adults. That's dark and gritty. I loved it. Can you talk about this oil painting style of animation, because it's so beautiful, and give us an idea of the time that it takes and what's so unique about this style compared to what we're used to seeing when we think of an animated film?
Well, oil painting is an incredibly sophisticated art form. It's been honed over 500 years. Some of the most expensive items in all of history are pieces of art, and most of them, I think all of the top 20 are oil paintings. So, this is something incredibly valued in our culture, and the reason it's incredibly valued is because it's a very sophisticated form of bringing over your vision of the world. What my wife, she comes from a background, she specialized in art when she was 14. In Poland, they have this system for specially gifted children in like music or arts and or sports. And so, she was painting from the age of 14. She loved oil painting, but she also loved film, and she wanted to kind of combine it, which has been done before, but only in short films. And when I saw what she was doing, I was like, well, we should try and do this as a feature film. Why not? So that started our adventure in oil painting animation. And the reason I wanted to do it was just because I thought it looked like nothing I'd ever seen before. It just had this incredible, like, mobile look and this incredible, like, emotions that it could bring. And one interesting thing is that we could combine it with the performance of actors. So we could take the performance of an actor and then repaint that, if you like, just as if like an oil painter would be posing a group of people and painting an oil painting. We could have actors and then we could paint them. So but on the downside, so I think the upside is you've got incredible subtlety. So back here, I've got like a painting. So this is one of the actual oil paintings from the film. It's one of the frames from the film. There were 40,000 frames of oil painting that was done, but that doesn't mean we have 40,000 frames of oil painting, because we're only left with, in this one, her head comes up, And so all of that would be painted on this one canvas. So here's, oh my goodness me. So 747 paintings were painted on this one canvas, and this is the last one.
Wow.
So, you know, and
Well, I think that's what's so fascinating, and part of the misconception is you have real actors, you have costume designers, production designers. Like this is acted out, and then you're recreating something that you've filmed. And it's not, a lot of people, like there's skeptics. They're like, oh, you used AI. So I'm going to let you shut that down right now.
Yeah, that's why I always bring the paintings in my bags everywhere around the world, and also so I can sell them. You know, I'm a traveling salesman at heart. No, I'm joking. So the thing is that if we could do this with a computer, we'd do it with a computer, because each of those frames takes 5 hours per frame. Yeah. So we have 125 painters in 4 countries working in our painting animation workstations, which are all set up so that they're exactly the same, so that we can get evenness of lighting. And the level of skill of the painters we needed for this film was just mind-blowing. I mean, in terms of 40 painters who worked on our last film who started working on this film, 30 of them gave up because the style was so much harder. And so obviously we were looking at maybe doing part of it digitally painted. We were looking at maybe automating some of it. And I have to say that we are absolutely HI. We are human intelligence, and we are human imperfection, because the thing that the AI just couldn't get its digital head around was the discrepancies between the painters, the impasto, the way that the light reflected off the canvas. So you know, we would love to automate more of our process, and we don't, you know, go to the trouble of doing a film over 4 years and then employing 125, you know, top level painters, and on top of that we had 100 digital artists who were supporting those oil painters. You know, we didn't do that if we could just like press a button. So and I think the fact that we've had such an incredible response in cinemas. I mean, this film already, it's only released in 1 country, but that's our record for the amount of admissions that we've had in 1 country. So you know, people are responding to it because it doesn't look like digital fare, it doesn't look like computer fare, it doesn't look like what they're seeing, and they can tell that, you know. So you know, the skeptics will say, oh, you did it in a computer, but actually people know that we didn't, because that's why they're fascinated by the look.
And it's still, you're able to still get a performance from the actors. I mean, you can feel it in their voice when they're actually going through the process. What was it like casting this film and finding just the right people to tell this story, which it's a fascinating story. I mean, I was drawn in right from the start. I mean, you can't take your eyes off this movie once you start.
Yeah, it's funny. People kind of sort of think it's going to be this 19th century costume drama,
No.
like quite slow, and it's very fast paced. There's a lot of action, a lot of, you know, a lot of fighting, a lot of conflict, a lot of passion. You know, we have dancing, we have sex, we have like just all the human emotions in this small village in 19th century Poland that like explode out because, you know, Jagna, this beautiful young woman is married off to like an old widower. And it just sets in motion this train of events, and it brings out like these very raw emotions in people, and you have these slightly larger than life characters. And honestly, there was no, if we had been doing this as a live action film only, we would have cast exactly the same people. So a lot of the people in our film are among the most famous actors in Poland. The only exception to that is Jagna. So the main character, we were adamant that we wanted someone that people didn't know. So actually for Kamila Arundowska, this is her first feature film, her debut role. And now she's probably the most famous actress in Poland right now. But we wanted someone that for the main role we didn't want people to have preconceptions about that character. So we actually did adverts on Facebook. We invited people to send in tapes from all over the country. We had like 1,200 entries. And Camilla ended up getting the role. The other big difference is if we had made this as a live action film, it would have been 2 hours and 14 minutes long.
Yeah.
So because where do I have the book? No, I don't. So the book is that thick. Yeah. So it's 42 hours as an audio book. And obviously we had to make some selections, and the first edit that we did for this was coming in at like two and a half hours, and we cut it down to 2 hours and 14 minutes. And there wouldn't have been any reason for us to cut it down any further if it was a live action film, because we would have kept some of the subplots. But painting animation is so expensive, so time consuming, that we knew that we had to get it under 2 hours. And so we, with tears in our eyes, we got rid of some important subplots, if you like. But actually the film is a better film because we're very, very focused on the story of Yagna in a way that we wouldn't have been if we'd been didn't have that discipline from the oil painting animation. And the other thing is that the book is actually like a painting being described. So it fitted very well for us to make that book in painting animation. It wouldn't necessarily work for another book, but it worked for that book because it was like, if you go and visit that place in real life where the book is set, you just like, where's Lipsa? Because it looks nothing like what he describes in the novel, which is like the seasons so beautiful, the transitions between the seasons. So we knew that kind of heightened descriptiveness, that poetic descriptiveness, the kind of the religious mysticism that infuses the book could be brought out better in oil painting than it could if it was live action or another form of animation.
Well, the hard work and the passion certainly paid off. Hugh, thanks for joining our panel today, and good luck this award season, and congratulations once again on The Peasants.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you. Bye.